بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He gave us certain rules in the Sharia. We find in the Quran and we find in the Hadith that there are many different rules, and from the wisdom or some of the reasoning behind these rules is to protect us. So for example, these rules mainly protect our religion, and they also protect the human body. They also protect the mind, and they also protect the wealth of all of us and the lineage of everybody. Hence you find different rules when it comes to your belief, and different rules when it comes to wealth, and different rules when it comes to marriage, etc. All this is to protect these, what they call daruriyat al-khams. And as we mentioned, from what's being protected is the wealth of one another. Hence you find that when you look at the book of buying and selling, there are many different rulings, how to buy and how to sell, how to conduct a partnership, how to give your charity, how to write your will, how inheritance works. All this is to protect the rights of one another, so nobody oppresses the other. An extremely important topic to speak about is that of debt and all the topics that come after it. So we find that in the Sharia, it's permissible to take a loan from somebody, a good loan, and as long as you have agreed when to pay it and the amount, etc., inshallah it's permissible. However, the person taking on this debt, he should have the correct intention. He should be from those who want to pay. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in a hadith, "Man akhadha amwal al-nasi yuridu ada'aha adda Allahu anhu." Whoever takes the wealth of the people, whoever takes these loans with the intention of paying it back, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps him to pay it back. And whoever, وَمَنْ أَخَذَ أَمْوَالَ النَّاسِ يُرِيدُ إِتْلَافَهَا أَتْلَفَهُ اللَّهُ. Whoever takes the wealth of people, he goes around asking from this one and that one, promising to pay it back, but his intention is not correct. He takes this money in order to squander it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy him. In the same way, he took people's wealth in order to destroy it, Allah will destroy him. When we look further, we find that those who are lending money to others, the Sharia has protected their wealth and protected their rights. So we find that after the scholars in fiqh speak about loans, then there's a mas'ala, or there's a chapter speaking about what's called a rahn. Rahn, ra, ha, and nun, is collateral. So for example, you're giving a loan to somebody and you're not sure, is he going to pay you back or he's not going to pay you back? You are worried, what may happen? You are allowed to agree on some asset. You put it as collateral. So this person taking the money, he can say, for example, here is my building, or here is my house, or here is any other asset I've got, and I put it as collateral. Anything happens to me, then we go further. The person is forced to sell this asset and pay the one whom he took that loan back. This is mentioned in great detail in the Sharia. However, a lot of us do not know. Why? Because we haven't gone this deep. There are many different masail when it comes to this collateral, but we should at least be aware of it. In Islam, as we mentioned, your rights are protected. When it comes to marriage, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to anything else, your rights are protected. Here we are speaking about wealth. So somebody wants to borrow money from you. You're not too sure. Ask them, say, put something down. What's the collateral? What asset can you give me? So in case you cannot pay, we can sell it and we can retrieve our money. What's important to mention is, if, for example, you've borrowed 100,000 from somebody and they've put their house as a collateral, and the house is worth 200,000 after you've sold it. Here, you are not allowed to take the full 200,000. You are only allowed to take that which you are owed, which is 100,000, and you give the rest. You give the rest back to them. So if you are owed 10,000, you only take 10,000. If you are owed 100,000, you take 100,000. Whatever is extra does not belong to you. So that is a mas'ala. At times, we find that you want to give somebody money. They may not have something to put down. They may not have that collateral. In this case, there is another chapter which is called Daman. Let's say you know somebody who is wealthy. You know somebody who is going to stand as a guarantee for you. It's permissible for somebody to stand as guarantee for you. So for example, you are taking 100,000 from somebody and you have a friend who's wealthy, and this friend agrees to stand guarantee for you. It's permissible. But this friend who is standing guarantee, or if anybody is standing guarantee, they must remember that the scholars go, some of them go as far as saying, when it's time to pay, the person who is owed the money, he could go to any of them. So you've got to be careful, you have to pay. Others who have a fairer opinion, they say that if the first person, primary person, is unable to pay, then you go to the one who stands guarantee. And that person who stands guarantee, either way, when this person cannot pay, they have to pay up. So whenever you put your name down, or whenever you volunteer to stand guarantee for somebody, make sure you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. That friend of yours who's borrowed 100,000 and you standing guarantee for them, when they cannot pay, you will have to pay. That you've taken on that responsibility that was not compulsory upon you. You voluntarily made it compulsory upon you, you have to pay. And these masail come under the ruling or under the chapter of Daman. At times we find that a person wants to borrow money, but they may not have cash at the moment, they may not have liquid at the moment. However, they know that somebody else owes them money. So you know, for example, you're borrowing 10,000 from somebody, and somebody else also owes you money. There is a chapter known as Hawala. Not Hawala that we talk about sending money, no. This Hawala is where you owe somebody money and somebody owes you money. In this case, you are allowed to tell that person, collect from the person who owes me. Obviously, there are conditions. One of them being that if you are telling this person to collect their money from somebody who owes you, then that person has got to be somebody who is mali. He's somebody who has the wealth. He is somebody who is known to pay. He is not somebody who is known to delay. In that case, you are allowed to tell somebody, for example, I owe you 10,000 and somebody else owes me 10,000. Go and collect from him. That's why the Messenger ﷺ says, مَطْلُ الْغَنِيِّ ظُلْمٌ. If a person has the money to pay and they delay and delay, then this is oppression. And then he says, whoever is told to go to somebody who has the wealth, فَإِذَا أُتْبِعَ أَحَدُكُمْ عَلَى مَلِيٍّ فَلْيَتْبَعْ. The same example we mentioned. If somebody tells you, you know what, this person owes me money, go to them and collect it from them, as long as the conditions are fulfilled, then you have to go to them and collect it. So that is another mas'ala. Look at how we're going from ruling to ruling, and all this is to protect the wealth of everybody. We started at somebody giving a loan. We then went over collateral. We then spoke about Daman and guarantee. We then spoke about Hawala, where you are told to go to somebody else. At times what happens is the person does not have wealth. So somebody's taken a loan from you. It's time to pay. They don't have. And you may need the money. Here, most of the scholars mention, if they come to some sort of an agreement known as sulh, it's permissible. So for example, somebody owes you 100,000 and you know that they are not paying. If they have that 100,000 and they are making excuses, obviously they will be sinful and it's not permissible. However, let's say they really don't have it and you have it. From the own goodness of your heart, you are allowed to tell them, you know what, pay me a little bit less and we carry on, we move on. So you get your money quicker, but you're getting a less amount. And that person pays and they're paying a little bit less. And this comes under what's called sulh, where you both reach an agreement. Obviously, there are many different conditions. Why we mention this is because most of the people here obviously are business people. And a lot of times we find that people give money out and then they complain that we've lost our wealth, this person is not paying me, that person is not paying me. Islam has protected your rights and the rights of everybody else. So next time you're giving something to somebody, remember all these masail. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He encourages you to help others with a good loan. But also remember, the fact that you're giving somebody that good loan, Allah will protect your rights. Hence, there are different rulings when it comes to this. So we spoke about, the last point we mentioned was sulh. Obviously, the person who's supposed to pay, they cannot carry on pushing for the sulh, as we mentioned at the beginning. Don't take the wealth of people with the bad intention, with an intention of not giving it, and then you go and say, you know what, I don't have, I squandered it, forgive me. No, because if your intention is wrong, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy you, as mentioned in the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, there are many other rulings when it comes to buying and selling. One of the more important rulings that's important for everyone to know is that of partnerships. Inshallah, next time we'll go into detail when it comes to partnerships. What happens if one person is putting down the wealth and the other one is doing the job? Or what happens if they both take goods on credit and they want to sell? All this has been mentioned in the Sharia. I encourage you all to go through the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that speak about money, the ahadith of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that speak about money and the rights of others, as well as ask the learned scholars who are around, mashallah, there are many. Ask them before getting into a transaction, before doing a deal, ask them, is what I'm doing permissible? And also ask them, how can I Islamically protect my rights? With those few words, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us goodness and beneficial knowledge, and make us from those who earn halal wealth. Ameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallama wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.